Poinsettia.
It came out of a lot.
Poinsettia. Poinsettia.
Poinsettia. Don't pull on it. It gets that little weird white beading things coming out of it. Poinsettia, right?
What?
Poinsettia?
Poinsettia.
No, poinsettia, right?
No, it's poinsettia. Poinsettia.
No,
Poinsettia.
it's not that. All right, we're going to look it up on YouTube right after this.
It won't help you. They pronounce it both ways.
Which point is...
Settia.
What is...
What point is settia?
No, what part of it...
Point at the settia.
What part of it is poisonous, or is that an urban...
The berries.
Really?
Yeah.
Do people traditionally try to eat them? There's nothing on this planet. It's very pretty, but even as a toddler, I would not bite into it.
They're worried about kids. Mistletoe is too, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Hmm.
It's a parasite that explains so
Kind of sad. Penny Marshall passed away.
Oh, welcome to the Todd and I Dailies, too.
I
know
75,
that was very sad.
Had to do with diabetes, something to do with that. And it's really sad, but then we started going, oh my gosh, think about how many things she did.
Now, for girls who are just growing up now, she was in Laverne and Shirley, which was a huge...
Oh, wait, let's start at the beginning. She made a guest appearance on Mork and Mindy. And then she went and did Happy Days. And she played a character different
Great
than...
accent.
Yeah, chewing gum. And then she went to Laverne and Shirley. So that was a spinoff there. Her dad, Gary Marshall,
the most powerful TV producer in the world.
Huge producer.
But this was a huge female sitcom, and she was a great comic, and she wasn't pretty and delicate like Mary Tyler Moore or the other women of that era. Penny Marshall was pretty plain, and she was kind of awkward.
She was funny.
And she was freaking funny as heck. And then when she went into directing, she was the first female who directed a $100 million movie, which was League of Their Own.
Right.
Which was an amazing movie. And then she did Awakenings with Robert De Niro. Anyone who knows this movie?
You're missing the good one.
Which one?
Big.
Oh, Tom Hanks.
That one grossed $100 million. If you put that into today's numbers, that would have been $340 million.
Look at you and your numbers.
I know. I have math skills. No, I don't.
I loved the statement. She said, I led an oddly charmed life for someone who thought she was not a charming person, which I disagree with. But she was a fascinating woman and so smart, and that's really a shame. Complications from diabetes, okay.
Tom Hanks, in the movie League of Their Own, Gary Marshall, her dad, she cast him. He was the person who owned the league and hired Tom Hanks to be the coach of the women's team.
That'd be fun to hire your dad. Your wildly powerful dad. And you're
then you yell at him.
You want a jab? Come here. So anyway, we're going to miss you. You were an amazing, amazing woman. And she was really powerful in Hollywood, especially with women.
So we are days away from Christmas, days away.
I'm only halfway through shopping.
I haven't done any. I'm going to give you a hug for Christmas.
That's almost as good as a trip to Australia.
That and some chloroform. So does this smell like chloroform to you? Your kids, how do you get that they're thinking about Christmas? They're going crazy. They're just dying for it.
To Zoe's credit, she's toning it back. I can hear it in her voice. She's trying really hard.
She has been great.
And that's the one wonderful
She's
thing.
7.
Yeah, about our boys, they're always like, we don't care, whatever. But this is a hard time of year, and I think a lot of the blame has got to be on the media, where everything that could ever come at your child is right now.
You cannot blame the media. You have to.
How about marketing?
How about your parent, being a parent?
It's very difficult to see all of these tempting images and then see all the stuff that the kids talk about at school.
But what do we know?
There's a lot.
What do we know?
But there are ways to change a greedy mindset into a more mindful one.
And a professional is here to help you out.
Dr. Julie Hanks, and she has one phrase that's going to shut down the whole, well, Tommy got a guitar and I didn't get. This is awesome. Watch this. You know, we're already into the season where it's thousands upon thousands of commercials of, hey, your kid needs this piece of plastic crap. The one for Zoe last year was this unicorn that would hold onto your finger, and it was $65. And she played with it for one day before Mr. Unicorn disappeared into the depths of her armoire. So you know this too. You're a mom of 4.
Yeah.
Now is the soul-crushing moment of every possible kind of gift is being shoved in your kid's face. How do you handle that with so many kids?
Yeah, well, I asked them for their top 3. So they can only have 3 things on the list.
Interesting.
So then they have to go, do I really, really, really want that? Because if I do, I can put it on my list. If not, it's off. Right? So you kind of force them to prioritize. because of course they're going to ask for everything, right?
Yeah, if they can, I would.
Yeah, but limit that.
Now, how do you handle, though, and you know this is the endless thing, the comparison, and social media has made it worse, where there's going to be a picture on Christmas morning of their best friend holding the reins of a horse going, I got a horse, and it's on their front lawn, you're going, they got a horse.
Yeah, yeah. When my kids do, when they say things like that, I'm like, good for them.
Kind of cuts off the argument part of this.
It's like, that's awesome. And what does that have to do with you? Nothing.
There's not much of a comeback to that, is there?
Right, and it kind of makes them go, what? It's the best response, because what can they say? Like, you just don't, you're not buying into their,
I'm not going to invest in your existential angst.
Yes.
That's sad, though. So the phrase, good for them, what does that have to do with you?
Yeah.
I like
oh,
that.
And it's not sarcastic, good for them. But like, oh, that's awesome. Good for, great.
Sincere happiness, but
They
sure.
have a horse.
Well, moving kind of in an opposite direction, and I've kind of faced this with Zozo, is extended family, where this is where they just start pouring gifts on this kid, and she ends up waist deep. And it's like, how do you nicely say, I would really prefer you not give my kid $300 worth of gifts, because I'm trying so hard to like make this plan of simplicity.
Yeah.
How do you go from there? Because it feels mean-spirited to say you're denied from giving the child you love
no
gifts, right?
Right, right. Well, you could suggest that they give those to Toys for Tots, or like whatever you were going to give her, pick one of those things and then give the rest away to somebody who needs it, because she doesn't really need it. Or ask for cash and put it in her college fund.
That's kind of what I was hopefully suggesting is, you know, if she's got a college fund, we could just get that 529 and throw it right in there, and that did not go over well.
Oh, it didn't? Okay.
No, I
Oh,
was kind of
sorry.
hoping for that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I suggest donation to other kids. There's so many kids in need that get nothing. So, you know, and then that gives you a chance to teach your daughter about, like, oh, you know, grandma gave you this, and she also gave, you know, 2 kids some other toys that they wouldn't get otherwise.
That's such an important point, and here's one that's kind of tricky for me, because I've tried to explain this, and maybe it's my inability to explain it the right way, but I try to explain there's a lot of kids who won't get as many things, and then the Santa thing comes in. Well, Santa gives everybody a bunch of stuff, it'll be fine. And
Yeah.
And then the other side of this is also, what do you mean there's homeless kids? Does that mean we're going to be homeless? And then the fears start building. I'm like, I have totally screwed this up. So there's some key delicate elements there of you're working with the concept of Santa Claus, and you're also working with that basic fear of, well, if that kid can be homeless and not get presents, does that mean that could happen to me?
Oh, yeah.
Which are concepts that never occurred to me until I became a mother.
Right.
How do you work through some of the delicate ideas there and make it more of an exciting option that you can help these kids versus, oh my
Terrifying.
God. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great question. I think, well, first of all, it's great that you're exposing her to people who are less privileged, right? I think that's, and it does bring up her fear, right? That could be us. And reality is it could, but it's probably not. I mean, you know, if you have a job and you own your house, you're not going to be homeless. So I think we're okay. So just kind of do the reassurance. But I think it's really important to expose kids to people who are less privileged, so they really get that's a reality, and that they understand their blessings and, you know, how much they have.
Let's go through some ages, and maybe that would help people, because it would have helped me a little earlier before I traumatized my daughter. Up to probably they start having this awareness maybe more around 5, when they're starting to see their little buddies in school. There's 2 little ones that are homeless in my daughter's class, and you know, they all work really hard to make sure that these kids have the same education and the same respect and the same opportunities. But it's really hit her. This is what homelessness is.
Yeah.
So between, like, say 5 and 10, how do you introduce the concept of less and the concept of helping? What are some of the actions and some of the things that you can do with these kids?
Well, they can volunteer. They can collect cans for the food bank. There are things that they can do. Donate old books. Like, so when they're cleaning up their toys, it's like, say, you know, we are going to give these 2 kids at the homeless shelter, and take them down there and let them participate from an early age, so they get, like, you can make a difference. That's what kids want. That's what gives them self-worth, is being able to make a difference for someone else. It's not how much stuff you have. That never makes anyone happy. mean, the most miserable people have the most toys, right?
This is true,
So-
and I'm not letting go of any of them.
Yeah. So exposing them to opportunities to make a difference for other people, you can totally do that at age 5 to 10.
You know, Zoe and I have gone down for Thanksgiving. Todd cooks dinner, and our job is to mainly stay out of his way. So I take the kids and we go down to like Walmart or Target and buy a big bunch of socks and like gloves and hats. And then we go down to like Pioneer Park and some of the areas, and we hand out to the homeless ladies and gentlemen. But the thing I think I missed is talking to them about it afterwards, about how does this make you feel? Do you have any questions? So when you do have this experience with your kids, what should you be asking them afterwards to see what's settling in their fertile little brains?
Yeah, I think just asking open-ended questions is always the best approach. What was that like for you? What are you thinking about? How are you feeling? And what's coming up? And then share what it was like for you. It makes me feel really grateful that we have this home to come home to. I feel really grateful that I have you guys. So just open-ended questions.
I'm learning a lot from you. I wish I'd asked a few questions earlier, but this is good. I'm still learning. What about between 10 and, the tweens and teenage years? Because this is when it gets hardcore, where it's like they're a little bit colder, like, that's nice, but I still am going to need
And they
this.
want expensive things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how does it change there? What do you do with your approach in that regard?
Well, I think limiting the expectations of what they're going to get. I mean, I don't think it's any different than the younger kids, really, Erin. I think it's exposing them to opportunities to serve, and hopefully you're building that into your family life somehow, whether it's donating to a charity or Toys for Tots or whatever, but making sure that they participate in that and directly experience people who are less fortunate than they are.
How does that impact them more as, I call it the cold-hearted teens, and I'm sure that's a very unfair analysis.
We're
but-
self-absorbed
But
teens.
it does seem harder to break through that at that point to go, do you see that there's other people who need our help?
Right. The world is not just right here,
Exactly. Is it more still just about exposing and about the service projects and about trying to be part of something bigger?
And when they feel good doing that, that makes an impact. That's where self-worth comes from, not from stuff. I mean, it's just, we think, things will make us happy. And life doesn't work that way. It's making a difference for other people that makes us happy.
The Todd and Erin Shop Locally Holiday List. Please shop locally this holiday season and support your local businesses. Like Clarissa Lewis with Perfectly Posh, glorious, cruelty-free body and skincare products made here in the USA. Get a 50% off coupon for your next order when you spend $50 or more. Go to www.mrslewisandjazzyj.com. And Pure Romance by Brenda Winters. Make this your hottest holiday ever with wonderful goodies to spice up your love life. Brenda can put together the perfect package for you. Go to pureromance.com/Brenda Winters. Rebecca Seeger Skincare. Long, luxurious treatments like facials, waxing, tinting, microdermabrasion, and more in a wonderful, nurturing atmosphere. Get $10 off your first appointment and 20% off gift certificates through the end of December. Go to RebeccaSeegerSkincare.com. And Bonnie's Joy Pinup. Transform yourself into a luscious 50s-style pinup girl for the pictures that make you look your most beautiful. A complete package with makeup, hairstyling, wardrobe, and 8 to 10 edited digital prints for only $120. Go to bonniesjoypinupparties.com. You can find all of our Shop Locally legends online at the Todd and Erin dailystream.com.
Well, this makes perfect sense. We're going to talk about shopping locally because you're running out of time for delivery on a lot of places.
This one, though, they'll deliver over the next year, and it's totally okay.
Okay.
Tell me something good, of course, brought to you by PC Laptops. If you are shopping, I would like to remind you, lifetime warranty, that would be labor and parts, okay? And their desktops and laptops start at $7.99.
PC laptops.
Okay, this was about Light the World Now. We've talked about the charity vending machines. Do you remember these?
Yeah. No, we have them here, right?
Joseph Smith Memorial Building. Well, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints came up with it.
Right.
And they started it here last year, and it was such a huge success that they've expanded it to 4 other areas. But essentially, you go down to the Joseph Smith Memorial Building, which is right across from Temple Square.
Right.
And they have massive vending machines there. And there's all kinds of things that you can select from. If you want to stay locally.
Oh, is this the list?
If you want to stay locally, you could buy blankets or medication or different things for the homeless here, or you could donate to the food bank. If you wanted to do things like, this is the one that I really would like to do, you can donate chickens or goat or livestock to villages that really depend on that.
Of chicken.
You can donate meals. Sewing machines was huge.
Really?
Water bottles, polio vaccines. Oh, that's it. I'm going
Yeah,
to cry.
that's
Polio vaccines, that's totally what we're going to do.
That's it.
And that just made me cry. That instantly, it totally derailed me.
And so basically the
what we're
machine
doing.
is there. It shows you the thing. You put your card in, boom, done.
We're taking Zach and Zoe down tonight, and we're going to do
You
that.
save the world. How about that?
And the wonderful thing about it, though, is that they said they're already, this has just exploded. It's already over double last year. $1.3 million in just local donations.
Nice.
In total, they've generated over 52,000 contributions. Now, that's going to be in the lobby of the Joseph Smith Memorial Building until the last day of December. So if you haven't picked something yet, or maybe like my family, where we're like, I don't want to spend any more money.
I don't want any more junk.
I love my mom and my brothers and sisters, but
No
this
one-
is what we like to do, is we like to pool the money. This is perfect. Polio vaccines.
Very cool.
Most people would think that was a weird present, but that's so good.
I don't think they do.
It's perfect.
This is another way to make money through the holidays, and I had no idea that this was available.
Well, this is so funny because, we've talked so much about porch pirates, and I'm obsessed with it because
Explain what it is.
not
for
only are we
people who
number
don't
2
know.
in the nation for theft from your porch, but porch pirates are the scumbags who follow, like the delivery trucks around. They drive up and down streets and they look for the opportunity to grab a box off a porch.
That's been delivered.
And most of these tend to be used for drug money. But I'm a little irritated because the last 2 I've seen pictures have had much nicer cars than we do. So it's apparently
Shoot, you're
doing
right.
something well.
I mean, seriously.
Right?
Right?
In any case, this is a problem because now that everyone's hyper vigilant and you're waiting for it, one of the problems is if you're with Amazon Flex, you have an issue.
What's Amazon Flex?
These are drivers they've been using, and this is interesting. It's sort of like the Uber of delivery. You get to pick your own hours. You get to bid for hours and jobs, and like I want to drive this many days
In
a
this
week,
area, in this area.
and this is the area I'd like to pick. And you can make up to $28 an hour doing it.
And you're what, delivering?
And you're delivering packages.
Packages.
And especially here, since we have same-day service because of our gigantic distribution center with Amazon.
Right.
And so it's funny, Crystal Privet's one of the drivers, and she says, I've had the police called on me 5 times today.
Oh, because she was walking in.
Yeah,
'Cause
they don't have anything that indicates they're anybody.
No, question. They also have those white unmarked vans, but they have uniforms or ID badges, not even uniforms.
That's somebody else, yeah.
And they run out and they drop them on your deal. But so this is in your own personal car?
This is your own car. There's no even like those metallic stick-on things that says Amazon
So
driver
it's like
or
you're a
anything.
dyslexic thief. And you're like Robin Hood.
Essentially, yeah.
Stealing from the rich and giving to the poor.
And the police say, you know what, we get these calls all the time, and we would still rather that you call us because people
That's
will
funny.
apologize and go, I don't want to waste your time. And he said, no, this is our job. Call us. But he says, yeah, we just make sure we know who they are, and we're very aware of the Amazon Flex program. But I thought that was so interesting.
I just came up with $1 million idea.
Tell me.
No one ever asked me about these, do they?
And yet we're still poor.
I'm going to tell you this idea, and I would like just a little handwritten note. Okay, so you drive for Uber, you drive for Lyft, and you drive for a pizza joint, and you do Flex drop-offs all at the same time.
Time management.
Right?
Except for the people in the back of the car that you're taking for Uber would be starving because all they could smell was pizza.
And you could have an extra one and sell them slices in the back of your car while you were dropping off things at doorsteps. Why? What am I doing this for when I could have that kind of future?
You were always thinking, baby.
Ouch.
In some way or another.
right.
Oh, this is so funny. Now, I would like to murder
do
the
it.
backpack kid for
do
bringing this up. I really would. The backpack kid, if you've seen this, of course, is the one who started the floss.
It's like this. And is there a different rhythm than just the one thing?
I don't know, it's violent and jerky every time
Okay.
I've seen Zoe do it. It's literally like a nervous habit at her school now. You'll go up to one of the little kids and go, hi, Johnny. And he'll go, yes, Mrs. Collard, what's going on? And they started. It's like it's a tick. It's the creepiest thing. But Russell Horning is the backpack kid. He's the one that came up with
is
the
he?
signature dance move.
Who is he?
He's just a 16-year-old from like...
On YouTube?
Yeah, Atlanta,
on YouTube.
Georgia.
Okay.
But here's the funny thing. Of course, he went viral after he posted the dance videos of himself on Instagram. They just filed suit against Fortnite
Because?
because the characters in Fortnite do the floss. Now, here's the funny thing. He's
Is
only
it?
one of 3 people who are currently suing. The other one is Alfonso Ribeiro. If you remember, he played Carlton Banks on The Fresh Prince of
Oh, yeah.
Bel Air. He
Wait,
had a dance.
excuse me, I'm doing it.
They apparently do that one too. And rapper too, Millie, is also claiming that the video game has stolen his, quote, signature dance
Okay, I have
moves.
a question for you.
Everybody's suing Fortnite.
Are there rights for a signature dance move?
I honestly don't know how they...
Except for that one. And remember, Will Smith used to sit back and just laugh. He'd laugh. They couldn't cut it. He was just like, he was like laughing at him dancing.
The only thing I know is if you base it on plagiarism with books or with music, there is a certain set parameter of similarities that you have to follow in order to assume that this was taken from an earlier product.
Right.
So if they're doing the floss just the way the kid did it, I'm thinking, unless...
I've got a
But did he
couple-
copyright it? That's the next thing.
No, I have a couple of money moves, but they'll never use
Nothing we
those.
can see here.
No, probably not. That's a good idea.
Sorry he brought it
So
up.
we are days away from Christmas. And I haven't heard it talked about. Oh, that's because they're self-employed. I haven't heard it talked about. Christmas bonuses. Now, I take you back. I'll take you back years. I remember getting $1,000.
When was that? It couldn't have been a radio.
Yeah, back when,
Boy, that was the golden era.
that was a golden era. And it was just like here, and they did it in cash because they were laundering money or something.
Man, I was
but
so
it was
in the
just
wrong
like, and they
era.
would just walk by very quietly, and Mr. Rogers would
Hi,
do them
buddy.
like a Merry Christmas. And you were like, oh, thanks.
I
like
missed
that.
him. He was a great
And then
GM.
later you're like, what the?
I remember getting gift cards for like grocery stores when we were at the
Yeah,
radio. I don't
yeah,
ever once
yeah.
remember cash.
And there
ever.
was like $50 cash. And then it went to a turkey, which is great. A turkey's great.
It's nice.
And then it went to a gift card. So if you didn't like turkey.
Our friends Chris and Dr. Molly
Right.
at their place, they do like spectacular, huge prizes, like big screen TVs, and I'm like, I want to quit and come work for you, because
Right.
just for the Christmas party.
Right, and
Because
then
they still do gigantic things, but that really is kind of a thing of the past, isn't it? Unless you're like a big tech company.
The last thing I remember is it turned into a cheese plate in the break room, and at that point you're like, save your money, keep your money.
Let's not make this more painful
This
than it already.
hurts. We're all going bowling. Oh no.
Is there a level? Maybe we're just being unsociable. Is there a level where you're like, let's not even try?
Don't even
because this
try.
is painful now.
But the candy in the nut box,
I think if you're,
which is great.
I think if you're goofy, and you're like,
Chocolates are great.
if you're like, woo, we're poor, let's all have fun together. I think
Yeah.
if the attitude is there, that's one thing. But if it's like we're forced to have a party, so you're having it in the break
don't do
room,
that.
That's awful.
It's horrible.
If it's like you're forced to do it, but
This
if
is
it's just a
sad.
dumb fun thing, that's different.
I know.
$1,000.
Yeah. And that happened for many years, I will say. This was not, and then it went to 5, and you were like, oh.
My friend Dylan, who works for a tech company, he was a genius coder. He lives up in Seattle, where all the cool people who eat salmon do. But he told me, and this was 5 years ago, I can only imagine it's more now, that he made $40,000 to $50,000 Christmas bonus. They call it an annual end-of-year bonus, an annual bonus, because you don't want to mention, a holiday. But yeah,
Why?
40 to 50, because it's a
That's-
tech company.
Yeah, that's good.
And they made boatloads of money. I bet
That's-
all of
that's-
you in Utah County who do tech,
that's
you
Christmas.
are all rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the meantime, and I think the saddest thing though is they're saying that only 12% of people who kind of expected they were going to get one, like
Don't get it.
here in Utah, that you're like, well, I'm going to get one. I mean, that's going to come,
The Griswolds.
12%.
The
got them.
Griswolds, that's what the whole movie is based on. He thought he was going to get a bonus
A big cash bonus.
to get a pool for the back of his house. Next thing you know, the crapper's full.
I love that movie. We have to watch that.
I have to tell you, before we go, and we are going, I promise, someone set up the front of their yard to look like that scene from National Lampoon's Christmas Story. And
I will find it and post the link.
there is an RV in the front. There's a mannequin holding a big tube shooting down a drain, and he's smoking a cigar at the same time.
That is time and investment.
And it is just so perfect. Anyway,
I really respect that.
Please like and share the show because it's annoying to other people.
We would appreciate it. Also, that also enters you to win the dinner for 4, Christopher's Prime Steakhouse, which would be a nice holiday thing.
Unbelievable.
And of course, please like one of our other pages if you would. We have Mistletoe Mania, which is all Christmas stuff and holiday stuff and amazing food and decor. We have The Beautiful Dark and also Tell Me Something Good. And if you're having a hard time and maybe not feeling the spirit, you cannot walk away from there without being stuffed full of happiness, whether you want it or not.
To go where?
Tell Me Something Good.
Tell me something good. That's a place to go. You guys have a great day. We're getting so close.
Maybe you should play the Julie Hanks video for your kids.
Again.
Yeah.
And
2 or 3
again.
times.
And again. We'll see
Cousins,
you tomorrow
nieces and nephews.
on the Todd and I Daily Stream.
Strangers, yeah.
All right. Bye.